Hi! See that cute girl that's drawing flowers with crayons on the asphalt? That's me as a kid. I'm Mary Anderson. I have always been a well-behaved, kind, and talented child. Now look over there. That boy happily jumping in a puddle is my brother Marcus. Even though we were twins, he was my complete opposite. And that man snoring on the bench is our dad. He was too tired after work to watch over my restless brother. That's why I often had to do it instead. I can't tell you anything about my mom because she left us when Marcus and I were still in diapers. Let me tell you about my crazy life. One day, Dad brought us to a zoo and fell asleep on a bench. My brother and I had complete freedom as usual. Marcus, get off the puddle or I'll pinch you. You'd have to catch me first. He stuck his tongue out and ran off. Ugh, I couldn't leave that moron alone and rushed after him. You'll never guess where I found him. He was standing by a bear pen and trying to hand-feed the bear. I barely pulled him away from the cage in time. And then, Dad scolded me for not keeping track of my brother. It's not fair. He's 10 minutes older than me. Why am I always responsible for him? Don't argue with me. There was also that time we went to the circus. Simply watching the performance was too boring for Marcus. He jumped onto the arena, snatched the hat out of the magician's hands, and tried to figure out where the rabbit was hiding. I barely made him sit back down. He wouldn't let me relax at home either. He ran around, made noise, and constantly demanded I pay attention to him while I was trying to study. He was also terribly envious of me. He always thought my toys were better than his, so he stole my dolls and broke them when he got tired of playing with them. One day, Dad bought us two identical bikes, but my brother decided that mine was faster. He threw a tantrum and started to roll on the floor until I agreed to switch our gifts. Long story short, my life wasn't easy. Things didn't get better as we grew older. Dad still worked hard to make ends meet. Whenever he had some free time, he worked on restoring his grandfather's rare car in the garage. I was juggling studying, doing chores, and looking after my brother. He kept getting in trouble. Dad ignored all my complaints about Marcus. Movies and TV series were the only things that helped me keep my sanity. I was obsessed with cinema and dreamed of becoming an actress so that my name would appear on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. One day, I was doing homework and watching my favorite TV series. Dad was at work, so I tensed up when I heard some noise in the garage. I looked in there and saw that Marcus had got into Dad's car and was trying to steal it. Dad loved that car more than anything in the world and would have gone crazy if something happened to it. I quickly jumped into the car and pulled out the keys before my brother could hit gas. Why are you always ruining my fun? Why are you so freaking dumb? I agreed not to tell Dad anything if he behaved from then on. Do you think Marcus was grateful? The very next morning, he put a spider in my breakfast cereal. I screamed because I was terrified of spiders. Why would you do that? So that you'd stop looking down on me. It pisses me off that you're so perfect. I did well and was popular at school, but it didn't even occur to my brother that I worked hard to achieve all that. Marcus was too jealous of me to see sense. One day, I saw a poster at school about an upcoming audition for the main role in a play the drama club was staging. Wow, I was so hyped! That was my chance to try acting. I signed up for the audition and hoped that my brother would not find out about it. I knew he would come if he did. But luck had turned its back on me. The next evening, Marcus saw me reading the script, and then he came to the drama club on the day of the audition. Marcus, being an actress is my dream, not yours. Are you a clairvoyant? How would you know what I'm dreaming about? Arguing with him was useless. I nailed the audition and got the role. Meanwhile, my brother did not impress the director with his performance. Poor Yorick! I knew him, Horatio! Next. Hey, I haven't shown everything I'm capable of yet. Then, my brother decided to demonstrate that he was an excellent acrobat and tried to do a flip. Unfortunately, he forgot to take one thing into account. He didn't know how to do flips. So, he just got tangled in the curtains and knocked down a bunch of props. In the end, he was kicked out of the club in disgrace. I breathed a sigh of relief and started to prepare for the role. I was supposed to be a maid that helped catch a thief who'd stolen jewelry from a safe. I hoped it would be the beginning of my acting career, so I invited all my friends and even Dad to the premiere. I didn't invite Marcus, but he showed up there anyway. Not as a spectator, unfortunately. My brother was holding a grudge since I got the role, so he decided to ruin my big moment. The hall was full of people. The curtain hadn't been raised yet, and I was nervously rereading my lines when I saw Marcus. He was smearing olive oil on the stage. Ugh, he'd gone too far. What are you doing here? Getting revenge. Then, that little idiot noticed the safe and decided, I can't believe I'm saying this, that there were real jewels in it. Of course the safe was just a prop. Where would we get the jewels from? But my brother had pudding instead of brains. He decided to steal it and buy new wheels for his bike. I grabbed the safe, but he kept trying to take it. Give it back! You're going to ruin the show! It serves you right! The curtain suddenly started to rise, and the audience saw us fighting. And then, we both stepped onto the puddle of oil and started to slide across the stage like it was a skating rink. We ended up knocking down the props and tearing down the curtain. Applause. The show ends. The curtain falls. That's how Marcus ruined my dream of becoming an actor. I was kicked out of the drama club. I wanted to pounce on him when we came home, but Dad started to defend him. I was so hurt and indignant, I was left speechless. And then, someone rang the doorbell. Dad opened the door and we saw a beautiful and stylish woman. Hello, dear brother. Long time no see. Brother? I realized it was Dad's sister, our Aunt Samantha. It was so nice to see you. Let's do this again. Never. Having said that, Dad slammed the door shut. I told him it was terribly rude to treat guests like that and let Aunt Samantha in. Little Mary, look how you've grown. Dad scowled, but I invited my aunt to dinner anyway. It was nice to see that I had at least one successful family member. Dad gritted his teeth, and Marcus picked his nose, but I listened to Samantha's story with interest. It turned out she lived in Hollywood. She came to our city to open a new chain of cosmetics stores. Wow, are you a businesswoman? That's right, baby. Since I'm here, I decided to visit my brother. More like show up to brag about your success. It was obvious that my father and Samantha didn't get along, just like Marcus and I. Soon, my aunt said she had to go. As I was saying goodbye to her, I asked her why she didn't get along with my dad. No one in our family has ever been successful. I didn't want to be a loser too. So, I cut all contact with my relatives and moved to Hollywood. Your dad has always been jealous since I was better than him at everything. I could relate to that. I told her I wanted to succeed and become an actress, but my brother and dad were standing in my way. Your family is dragging you down, baby. I know the feeling. Don't worry, I'll help you. Samantha suggested I live with her while she was in town and said she would arrange several auditions for me. She knew a lot of people in showbiz. I looked back at the kitchen. Dad was snoring right at the table, and Marcus was trying to juggle cups. But of course, he just ended up breaking them all. Neither of them understood me. I didn't hesitate. I just packed my things, left a note for Dad saying that I wanted to stay with his sister, and got into her car. My aunt lived in an awesome apartment with a gorgeous view of the city. Samantha was fashionable, witty, and independent. She became my idol. For the next few days, I felt like I was living in a fairy tale. We shopped in boutiques and went to a spa. No more housework or Marcus's antics. But of course, Dad was constantly calling and asking me to come back home. But Samantha convinced me that he was just worried that he no longer had a maid. She also organized an audition for me as promised. I could barely believe my luck. Soon, I got a small role in a TV series. Whee! I called my dad and told him everything. He was very unhappy that I was hanging out with his sister, but my aunt was genuinely proud of me. Maybe I'll take you to Hollywood with me. On the first day of filming, I approached one of the actresses called Alice and introduced myself. I was being friendly, but she just smirked at me arrogantly. Aren't you an extra? I'm the star of the series, so don't try to grab the spotlight. Got it? Wow, someone needed to take her down a peg. Luckily, not everyone on set was toxic. Several weeks of filming flew by. The series was supposed to premiere soon, and the showrunners threw a party to celebrate the end of filming. To be honest, I really wanted Dad and Marcus to be proud of me, so I decided to invite them to the party. But Samantha convinced me not to do it. Mary, sweetie, you do realize that there are going to be paparazzi and famous producers there. Do you want your family to embarrass us? She was right. I didn't say anything to my dad and brother about the party and went with Samantha. Everything was going great. I was interviewed and photographed. I only played a minor role, but I felt like a world-class star. And then I heard some noise by the entrance. Dad and Marcus were arguing with the security guard and trying to go past him. It turned out that invitations were sent out to the families of the actors automatically. Damn it! Dad saw me and started waving at me. My daughter is starring in this stupid TV series. Hey Mary, tell them to let us in. I didn't know what to do, but then Samantha appeared and reminded me that my family would only embarrass me as they had done many times before. I didn't want that to happen, so I told the guard I'd never seen those people before and went back to the party. Then, the producer of the series talked to me and Alice, that nasty actress. She said she wanted us to audition for her new movie. Mary, you shouldn't waste your time. They'll choose me anyway. What? You could only play a mummy if you didn't wear so much makeup. My aunt took me aside and said I should lock Alice in the bathroom to take no chances and get the role. Of course, that girl was nasty. But I wanted to be Alice honestly. That's what I told Samantha, and then I went to the audition. And failed epically. It turned out that the movie was going to be about some adventures in the jungles, and the candidates were going to have spiders and snakes crawling all over them. Ew. Do you remember how scared I was of spiders? I was shaking with horror. When they put a spider on me, I couldn't concentrate on my lines and just kept stuttering and sobbing. In the end, I failed the audition. Alice got the role. I was miserable and hoped my aunt would comfort me, but she was fuming and looked mad as hell. I told you to get rid of that girl, but you were too cowardly to do it. Do you know who acts like that? Losers. I was wrong about you. You're as worthless as everyone else in your family. I never heard anything so terrible in my life. Samantha turned out to be cruel. Now I knew why she succeeded. She set people up. Then she said that weaklings like me wouldn't make it in Hollywood. Wave goodbye to your dreams, baby. She crossed the line. I burst into tears and ran home. I felt gutted. I didn't have anyone who was proud of me and supported me. I went to my room. It was dark, but then the light came on, and Dad and Marcus jumped out of the kitchen. They were holding a cake and balloons. Surprise! Mary, we are so proud of you. Congratulations on your first role, even if it is very small. I was surprised and asked them what was going on. Weren't they mad I kicked them out of the party? At first, we were. But then we realized that we deserved it and should have paid more attention to you. We spent the rest of the evening eating the cake and chatting. Dad finally confessed why my brother had always acted like that. Marcus had ADHD. It was hard for him to focus, and he was also very active. Dad worked so much and was terribly tired because he was trying to save up for Marcus's therapy. I'm sorry I acted like a spoiled kid. I've always admired you, little sister. That's why I always tried to act like you. Can we still be friends? Of course, you dummy! But no more spiders in my food. After some time, thanks to therapy, Marcus started to show more restraint, and Dad finally stopped working all the time. As a result, I had more free time. Things were going great, but I was still dreaming of Hollywood and new roles. And one day, I walked into the garage and didn't see Marcus's bike or Dad's car there. Oh no! Dad, Marcus, we've been robbed! They came up to me, smiling slyly, and said that they had actually sold the car and bike to pay for a flat in Los Angeles. What? You've always taken care of us. We decided to return the favor and help you follow your dream. Can you believe it? I screamed with joy and threw my arms around them. Soon, we arrived in Hollywood, and I started going to auditions every day. I got a lot of rejections, but didn't give up. And soon, I got the lead role in the romantic comedy Private Diary. Hell yeah! After starring in that movie, I became very popular. I was even nominated for a prestigious award. The filmmakers threw a party to celebrate it. I invited Dad and Marcus to it. And then, when the party was in full swing, I heard some noise by the entrance. Samantha was trying to walk past the security guard. Mary, sweetie, tell them to let me in. My makeup line is failing. Could you promote it for old time's sake? I smiled slyly and told the guard that I'd never seen that woman in my life. I went back to the party after that. No one could call my loved ones losers and get away with it. We might argue sometimes, but I know that Dad and Marcus will always have my back. Tell me in the comments down below, who do you talk to when life gets tough? And don't forget to press like!